Hello SUMC, Rob here reporting in from one of SUMC Music's home offices with some more thoughts and another friendly check-in to continue to hope you're safe and well and to encourage you to stay in touch. This week, a tiny bit of choir navel-gazing. If you caught this past Sunday's morning worship service, either live or on the live stream, the anthems that our choir put up may have seemed to you, intense. I'm going to rewind about 40 years to a time when I'd been singing in our choir for 2 or 3 years only. I was about to graduate from high school. So if you're in high school and wonder if it might be okay to join, the answer is yes, of course. Just ask Kieran. And it struck me then that the music we tended to sing during Lent was very gray clouds, very low-key and toned down, very D minor. A lot of D minor. Well, it is a season of sacrifice and self-reflection as we inch closer and closer to the series of traumatic events which are collectively Holy Week. Before we can get to the grand and explosive celebration, musically and otherwise, of Easter, there's some stuff we have to take care of, and that applies to the musicians as well. In the ensuing 40 years, and particularly lately, I feel like we've at least partly worked our way out of feeling like we have to spend all of Lent doing the musical equivalent of wearing sackcloth and ashes and flogging ourselves. The gospel group will occasionally get up and sing a bouncy thing. The choir will sing anthems and prayer responses that are in major keys. In fact, for the last couple of weeks, and for the next couple of weeks, the choir has sung and will sing a choral response that is taken from one of the movements of Kevin's Christmas cantata. It has lots of interesting harmonies and just 20 seconds of singing, and it ends on a lovely, optimistic major chordette. Are you sure this is still Lent? Yes, it doesn't have to be in D minor all the time. That said, again, last Sunday's anthems were intense. The offertory was an item by a composer named Mark Hayes, and it began with the text, "All ye that pass by, to Jesus draw nigh. To you is it nothing that Jesus should die. Your ransom and peace, your surety he is. See if there ever was sorrow like his." In the middle of the anthem is a sequence in which, underneath the top 3 voice parts, our fine bass singers gave out with Kyrie eleison over and over again, with a big old full choir crescendo to a loud, long chord, which our folks did well to sustain for as long as the composer asked them to, considering we're not a choir with 20 singers on a part. And then we returned to the original melody and ended with the text, "He purchased the grace which I now embrace. He died in my place." It's about 6 minutes of intensity, both the quiet and loud kinds, and whether you're singing it or listening, at the end of it, you're probably pretty wrung out. The item we sang just after Zach's children's time was an old favorite. If you've been around SUMC for 5 or 50 years, you've probably heard it at least a time or two. It's "God So Loved the World" by the English composer John Stainer. I always enjoy it when the choir sings something that is exactly what we just had as a scripture reading. Not only does it demonstrate that pastor and musicians are on the same page in terms of worship service planning, as in, that was not a lucky coincidence, we actually talked about that. But if it's true that when you sing, you pray twice, then did we just hear John 3:16 3 times? And the choir has sung this one enough that we joke, yeah, this one's in our DNA. We put it together in one rehearsal, mainly because we had enough experience with it that one rehearsal was really all we needed. Except that, at least to my ear as I conducted it, it felt like the choir accessed something extra. We sang all the same notes and rhythms and words as usual, but there was an added layer of intensity that honestly I wasn't expecting, and truthfully, wasn't even there the last time we ran the thing back in the choir room before service began. Which is not to say that the dress rehearsal run wasn't good, no indeed, but maybe it was my 85-15 rule in play, where we supply as much as we humans can, and God supplies the other 15% to get us over the line. Although, in this case, I feel like it was closer to 95-5. Or maybe it was something else, I don't know. But we got done, and as I put my music stand back in the corner by the pulpit, I thought to myself, and that's not even the really intense anthem of the day. Whew. Some days I really like my job. And choir directors don't usually expect to say that during Lent. On Christmas Eve, or All Saints' Day, or Easter, or any Sunday where there's lots of fanfare and major keys and banging and smashing, yes. But Lent? Anyway, please check back here every Friday afternoon if you like for more video hellos here on SUMC's Facebook page or on the SUMC YouTube channel, Sudbury United Methodist Church 2501. My email address will appear here momentarily. Please feel free to use it anytime for any reason. And as always, if you need to get in touch with any church staff people for any reason, please do during normal business hours, because no matter how, no matter what, doing the work of the church together is the big thing. Keep in touch, keep the faith, stay connected.